Hello and welcome to another Best Automatic. I'm your host, Captain Perver.
And I'm your host, Captain Gorgeous.
And I'm your host, Captain Know-It-All. So, if you remember our previous episode, we was actually on about the Coquette and Blackfin, right? All based on the Corvette C1, right? Now, our producers want things to sort of change, right? I mean, it's like, you know, that's the popular one, Car Pro Dam.
What are you trying to get at?
Well, you remember, you know, Top Gear?
Right, we all remember that, you know, with Jeremy Clarkson and Richard Hammond and all that lot.
Yeah, so what you getting at? Well, things change, especially what happened to Jeremy, yeah.
Well, yeah, you got, you know, that incident.
Well, then they did the Grand Tour. Well, obviously they couldn't take their not-so time racing driver, right? So, you know, they had that big American bloke, didn't they?
Oh yeah, the American, yeah.
Well, and then obviously, I mean, we used to having Vicky, but obviously they had Obby, and she was like a lady what brought all the ladies involved and stuff, didn't she?
Right, so, right, you're on about Abby.
Well, our producers sort of like want to have a bit of a incorporate a different character into the Best Automatic.
What you mean by that?
Well, as they want to establish about certain points about, you know, comparing convertibles with hard tops. I mean, which one would be fastest?
Oh, I won't know.
Well, here we are. We're going to pack some footage of the Coquette, alright, Blackfin, alright, with a hard top, and driven by a not-so-time racing driver, the Gimp.
Well, every fast car that we test here is going to go around our test track and set a lap time so we can evaluate them all against one another and it's all fair so the Stig drives them. The times go up there on our power car lap time board, so let's see what the Stig did with it.
So, we fitted it with the Stig and launched him onto our test track. Now this is a scaled down rally car, turbocharged engine, 4-wheel drive. Not the best looking car in the world, I admit. The problems of the British weather, look at that track, it's absolutely soaking wet, but the Stig has no fear at all as he heads on down for that nasty little jump just before the first corner. Really unsettles the bad chassis, but it won't unsettle that, believe me. And he goes, how fast was that? About 100 miles an hour, pretty much. No, it wasn't. Because yes, it was almost 100 miles an hour through that first corner, down to 60. Coming up through here, this is going to be tricky because the back's going to go very, very light. Great bikes on, that doesn't mean anything. Through there, look, not even. And here we go down the main straight, 97, 100, 102, 105. That was 105 miles an hour. Let's just steer there. It doesn't do that even when it's raining. And down the main straight, great hard. He's never going to get through the follow through flat out, is he? Is he 94? No, he's lifted, but he's 100 miles an hour. That is seriously quick. That is so fast. This is going to be a fast lap time, even on that track. Now he's onto the main straight. And what speed are we going to do with this speed? 106. That was 106 miles an hour. And the braking time, that's 3 times the braking distance. To turn into Baccarat bend, he's going to have to brake again for Carpenters. Is he going to get that tail out? Is he going to keep it nice and smooth? Maximum power and across the line.
Do you think it's brave, the Stig, or just a bit stupid?
It's a racing driver, it doesn't understand fear.
I really wouldn't do that.
So that might give you some nostalgia of memories of Top Gear. Obviously, it had to stop because a lot of people used to complain about getting buckeye, especially with them very slow vehicles, bottom of the scoreboard and all that malarkey.
Just get on with it.
So, it's been a long time that we've actually seen our Best Automatic test truck and seen the Gimp taking the vehicle round. On this vehicle, it didn't do too bad. It came third on our scoreboard, but yeah, you know, as you can see, it did quite well, right? But we need to sort of like move on and get onto the subject of, you know, about, the classic game of GTA 5 went through subtle changes, obviously, before 6 came out.
What do you mean? Subtle changes?
Well, gameplay and all that, look, people didn't realise, they wanted to bring, the establishment of the gender colours back to its rightful place, maybe. What are you on about? Well, I'm trying to get round that, you do know that pink, yeah, the colour pink, yeah, not the band, right, the thing is, though, originally it was a boy's colour, right, so what are you trying to suggest? Well, you do realise that a very popular character, or a symbol of pinkness, is might be classed as a girl's toy, but technically it isn't. What are you trying to witter on about?
He's getting me confused now.
No, it's not confusing. And what I'm trying to gist at, that I'm talking about, Barbie, right? She wasn't actually a girl's toy. She was a boy's toy.
Right, so why are you scaring me like this then?
Well, before Barbie was Barbie, or she was stolen, obviously Germany, they lost the war and all that lot, but in 1952, right, they had a lot of magazine called Bill, right, and they had this, convenient space, so they created this character called Lily, right. I mean, there's a very famous scene that she goes into a restaurant in a bikini, a two-piece bikini, right, and where's this going at? Well, it's trying to be humorous or something, right? Because somebody stops her saying, that's inappropriate, you can't go in with two-piece bikini in a restaurant. So she says, which one do you want me to take off? Top bit or the bottom bit?
Oh, just keep it clean! Yeah, I was just sick!
I'm not being sick, alright? I mean, end of the day, a lot of men bought these dolls when they go to buy their tobacco, smokes and stuff and all that lot.
What the hell are you on about? Why are you bringing this subject up for?
Yeah, I'm actually a bit curious why. Have you been told off by the producers about something? Because you're a bit of a pervert or something? No, not exactly, but the thing is, right, people do get confused about males being on GTA, right? Obviously, things changed on GTA 6, didn't they? But everyone misses, the ways of GTA 5, don't they?
What are you on about now?
Well, there's certain things missing in, GTA 6 compared to 5. The classic, Princess Robot bubblegum and all that lot. I mean, it had that bit of finesse and all that lot. I mean, she's a very beloved character in that.
What are you on about mentioning that Princess Bubblegum and that? I mean, we know what sort of stereotype she's meant to be.
Well, yeah, but I'm not comparing it from Barbie, but obviously, I'm trying to mention, because they want me to come out with some form of intellectual stuff, and this is one of my good topics I know about. Because you're a pervert. No, not the case of that, right? But the point is, right, I'm trying to explain, like the history we're trying to get at.
Oh, you're just making these matters worse,
No, I'm not. But the thing is, I'm going to talk about the history about Ruth Handler, right? She's met with the creator of Barbie, right? Because when she went to the Swiss Alps, she sold these, these certain dolls, right? And she thought that's a good idea that, because Mattel, right? Yeah, Nob and don't mess with them because, they just stole the idea, right? And obviously she had thought of the name for the doll.
Right, where are you going with this?
Well, she named it after her daughter, Barbara Millick Roberts, right? She was named after the daughter, right? But what about Barbie's other accessories and that? I'll be getting to that. That's what our producers wanted to get about. So what about, Ken, her boyfriend? Well, she named, Ken after her son, Kenneth Sean Carson.
Wouldn't that make them brother and sister then?
Well, yeah, but it was Bobby's accessory, wasn't it? And obviously, she had to think where her name come from. You don't mess with Mattel or what. So we'll move on, right? The point is about GTA and noticing certain players in the game. What you mean? Well, it don't matter if you got a Ken or a Barbie. They've got the accessory of wearing clothes. So going to a clothes shop in GTA doesn't mean that what gender they are, does it? Right. It's like our beloved Action Man figure we had, because we're British and all that lot. Not to be confused with the G.I. Joe, what had the voice box of Barbie in it, what always said, I've got enough clothes and stuff like that. Now, Action Man,
I had the Action Man too, as well. And yeah, I remember the days where you could go out to shops and buy these, clothes for the Action Man and dress him up as different,
yeah. So it's quite common for young men to be obsessed about dressing dolls with clothes, and that's why the invention of the Lily doll, isn't it? Back again.
I like to stick to the subject about Action Man, because I had one, you see.
Now we've got to move on to other subjects, right?
I want to talk about Action Man.
Now I want to talk about men what had Lily dolls and they dressed them up for their mistresses to dress up like that way, or especially ladies of the night as well.
So you're saying that beloved toy, Barbie, but obviously you're saying Lily doll, always hanging around street corners, hoping for passers-by to detain certain business, like you get on GTA, don't you? What, the old GTA?
Well, the classic GTA. I mean, it was great having them ladies where you offer money to them and they did the service and that, but Mattel had interesting ideas, did you know?
You just changed the subject now, haven't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, can we all remember back in 1991 where Rollerblade Barbie came out, right? And she was really good for finding, boots. They were like cigarette lighters, weren't they, in that? But, she was very handy for finding gas leaks, wasn't she? I mean, you had all them propane bottles kicking about in the houses back in them days, didn't we? Before we had pipes, gas to our mains and stuff. But very good for finding gas, leaks and that.
Thinking of explosions, can we talk about Action Man? Because that is giving me some right fond memories.
Now we've got to mention about, Mattel and their great invention, because my sister had this store, right, back in 1975. It was growing up skipper, right? And obviously she went to school, and I had a bit of a dabble and a play with it, right? Because what you did, it was like one toy, or two toys. But what you did, you twisted her arm, right, and they twisted it to the full maximum, right? and my little sister wasn't happy when she got back because a Barbie, you know, well, the skipper was fully grown, and obviously after you wind its hand that far, it doesn't go back.
So what happened?
Well, she's a bit off balanced, you know, she doesn't counterweight, so she couldn't stand up from the little sister. She was very annoyed, she kept on falling over and that.
Right.
Obviously my sister was annoyed because Barbie was overweight. She wasn't 110 pounds, and I should have paid attention to the diet book she came with. But obviously I thought she looked like she eating too many Oreo biscuits, or she looked more like you know, Emerald Fennell, you know, as been pregnant Midge, you know, back in 2022, right? And yeah, I mean, that was a very popular doll that it got in a movie, obviously, and a famous director and actress and director again wanted to play that part for Barbie to give inspiration that, you know, about, you know, conceiving a baby. Because obviously Barbie, you know, she was well known for getting pregnant, wasn't she?
But shit!
And don't be jumping in the wrong conclusions that it's her brother Ken, because there was back in 1993 Eerie Magic Ken. Now he had this very popular icon ring. Now I couldn't figure out where this ring actually went on. So, you know, but, you know, it just left with your imagination, isn't it? So, as you all know, that Margot Robbie played Barbie, and she's more famous for playing another character, as we all know, from Suicide Squad. Yeah, the one and only Harley Quinn, and that is a very popular toy as well.
Yeah, not as popular as Action Man.
Well, like, we're moving on about Action Man, alright?
How do we know that Action Man didn't get Barbie pregnant?
Well, because, you know, Action Man was too busy messing about with Cindy, right? She was a popular doll, wasn't she, back in Britain and all that lot?
Alright,
So why are you on about Barbie for? Well, our producers want us to sort of like remind people back in the old days with Grand Theft Auto that it was a very hard to find out what type of online player you were dealing with. Now, a lot of online players maybe presume that, you know, that it could be a girl or a boy or a man or a woman, right? You couldn't tell the difference until they came on a mic, right? But there were certain subtle ways you might thought it could be a, you know, a woman on an online session, because if there was another woman on the same lobby, that obviously they're not both going to get on. It's like two ladies in a room, you know, they're going to hate each other.
that's just a bloody myth, that. You're just being sexist and all that lot.
No, it's meant to be a scientific fact, right? Really serious, you know. But that just seems to be sexist.
Yeah, you're sexist. That's why you call Captain Pervert.
No, because it's something else. What you mind about that? Yeah. Right, I'm coming up with scientific facts, right? You know, like Margot Robbie, right? As well, I've been suggesting, right? That, you know, she's famous for, like, in Quentin Tarantino's movie about Burt Reynolds. Right. Well, no, the Emerald Fennell did acting and wrote for the BBC. Now, she might have been inspired by the series how BBC did all their serious documentaries they did. Like, back in the 70s, right, when they did that 8-part series about dictating the future of 2012, about, you know, the worm that turned. Now, it was about, a man watching illegal John Wayne movies.
Right, where's this going?
Well, that's what I'm trying to fare at. That if you've seen it, you'll know what dictating certain way of future.
Right, now he's getting me really scared. Now we're seeing like strange images. What the hell am I meant to be seeing here?
Yeah, I'm getting a bit worried now. It's quite straightforward. Just listen to the bleeding intro of it and you'll understand all about Britain.
The dateline is 2012. England is in the grip of a new regime of terror. Traditionally a land of brave heroes and great statesmen, Nelson, Wellington, Disraeli, Churchill. Britain now laboured under the yoke of a power guaranteed to strike fear into the hearts of all men. The country is being run by women. It all started with Margaret Thatcher. Housewives all over England, delighted at her rise to power, voted more and more women in and more men out. Years later, the Germaine Greer-Nicker uprising made 1984 a far more terrifying year than even George Orwell predicted. Men's clubs were abolished, gentlemen's toilets closed, creating widespread distress among thinking and drinking men everywhere. Livers naturally were the first to go to the wall. The advance of feminism was by now making itself felt in public and traditional spheres. Names of buildings were changed. The Houses of Parliament were still the Houses of Parliament, but immediately the all-woman government took over, Big Ben was renamed Big Brenda. By 1998, the newly formed state police had established their headquarters in the old Tower of London. This historic fortress, with its grisly associations of torture and executions, had been given the name of a former folk heroine and was now known to all and sundry as Barbara Castle. The state police marched around the country in squads. They were omnipotent and carried all before them. Quite a lot behind them as well. In short, an England completely dominated by the female sex. Even the Union Jack had now become the Union Jill, a sad travesty of its former self. They made the decisions. They were the union leaders, the captains of industry. And the men? Well, let's start with this one.
Because it has indeed.
Cartwright, J.W. He is employed as a T-boy at the secret police headquarters in Barbara Castle. He has a pass with his photograph on it, pinned to his overall. He lives in a 2-roomed flat in Perivale, and he is the worm that is about to turn. His main adversary, everybody's main adversary, was the commander of the state police, a woman with an iron will and underwear to match.
I don't actually understand what are you going with this. I'll tell you what, I'll play a little bit more of it, alright? No, I'm not hinting at that.
Now, ladies, it has been suggested by certain opposition factions that men should once again be allowed to revert to wearing trousers. And I can see that to you, as well as to me, this whole concept is unthinkable. They must be kept in frocks if we are to retain the control which we have fought so hard to achieve. Trousers have always been the symbol of the male overlord. Here in England, trousers were traditionally always worn by the head of the family. In those olden days, all women had an image of their perfect man.
Nice strong black one for you, wasn't it?
Deep down, there was always resentment, a spirit of rebellion rebellion which was ready at any time to burst to the surface. When our mothers and grandmothers burnt their brows way back in the 70s, what did this reveal?
Nothing at all for you as far as I remember.
It revealed that at last women, the creators of life, the protectors of the young, the guardians of the future, were ready to assume the mantle of leadership. The masterstroke, however, was to insist on the changeover in traditional dress. Once the men had to wear the frocks, they were subjugated. As soon as we took their trousers away, they were putty in our hands. After all, what did they have left?
2 lumps and a sponge finger.
So, where are you going with this?
Yeah, I'm totally baffled. Well, as I've been there trying to explain that we're all in that it's about Barbie, and people get the wrong impression that, you know, yes, Barbie was a doll for men, for, you know, for dressing up to show to ladies how they wanted them to appeal themselves and that. Right, we're trying to understand where you're going with this logic. Well, you haven't actually sort of like, you just presume that Ken is the accessory to Barbie, yeah? Yeah, that's what I said, yeah. But as you should realise, we're a car program, right? Now, a lot of online players play this game, GTA, and they all presume that, you know, a certain establishment of maybe a colour or a certain, you know, accessory what Barbie has.
Oh, just get on with it!
Nah, it's simple. Barbie is a bloody hoarder of the most biggest hoarder of them all.
What?
We do a bloody car program, it's obvious, innit?
Well, you haven't been making it that obvious. You've had us confused what you've been trying to get at.
Look, back in 1962, that's when Barbie had her very first car, and we all know what sort of car it is.
Well, that's easy. It looks like a convertible.
Well, yeah, obviously it is a convertible, right? But I'm not just suggesting it's a convertible because that's insulting, right?
Alright then, clever clogs. What was the second vehicle then?
Well, it was a convertible hot rod.
Right, exactly what I'm getting at. Everything's a convertible.
Well, the Roadster was back in 1963, right? But in 1964, right, Skipper, a daughter, got a Roadster.
And let me guess, it was a convertible.
Obviously, it's a Roadster, isn't it?
Yeah, but the point is that every vehicle that Barbie has, that it has to have its roof of.
Why's that?
Well, that legs don't bend, so that's the only way you can get her in the vehicle, and the only way you establish for a lady's vehicle is a convertible.
Now that is quite sexist now, that is bang out of order.
No, it's been known, in fact, on a very serious car program, very serious, as I say.
You've just been sexist.
No, from the great wisdom of Jeremy Clarkson, right?
But Jeremy Clarkson doesn't know a lot of things about Barbie, surely. He's just a typical stereotype thinking what he thinks he knows about Barbie, don't he? So why would he be giving the intellectual stuff about Barbie compared to me? Because
you're admitting that you know a lot more about Barbie compared to Jeremy Clarkson then?
Well, obviously, yeah, of course I am. That's why we're doing a official car program, aren't we?
And maybe that's why we're not doing very well, are we?
That's not my fault.
Yeah, but you don't believe that Clarkson said stuff, do you?
Prove it.
Okay, I will. And then you'll be shocked all about it, won't you?
Did you know that the British buy more convertibles than the French, the Italians and the Spanish put together?
And that gives us another problem. Because you see, you can't have the Volkswagen Beetle either. And let me explain why, okay? Now with most convertibles, the windscreen is sort of here. But this is like a convertible people carrier. Got this huge dashboard that people can play football on. You need binoculars to see if the wipers are working.
And that leaves us with the Ford Street Car. Now, it is a very, very good little car. It does everything it sets out to do, and it does it very well. But you cannot possibly drive this car if you're a man. Seriously. Look, there's a man in the car, and he's clearly wearing a dress. Is he not?
Are there any men here who would think of buying this car?
Precisely. Would you anyway?
Okay, now, this being a Top Gear audience, you're all car enthusiasts. I know you haven't got wives or girlfriends. So you brought your sisters with you. What about the girls? Hands up, all the girls who would like to have this car. Oh, sort of, that's why. Are there any girls who wouldn't? Well, put your hand up then. It's not a delicate instruction. The trouble, brothers and sisters are all related. I was talking the other day to a guy from Ford, I don't know who he was, wore a suit, had biscuits in meetings. Anyway, he said 80% of these are going to be sold to women. So who's going to buy the other 20%? I wouldn't buy one.
I thought you liked it.
I do. But I'm going to outline now a few problems, okay? We'll start with the boot.
There isn't one. I mean, there isn't one. It's under it.
No, there's no point looking. That's your lot. It's basically a sort of baking tray above the engine, really. It's okay if you've got a handful of roast potatoes to carry around with you, but otherwise useless.
Yeah.
However, if we open the back, enough space for a whole sack full of King Edwards.
Well, there you go then. That's your car. What's your problem?
No, won't buy one of these either.
Because
I'll tell you why, okay? You can buy one of these, left-hand drive, in Britain, you don't have to go to Germany or Luxembourg for it, left-hand drive for less than £10,000. It's not quite as powerful as the British ones if you don't get quite so many toys, but why are we paying half as much again to have the steering wheel on our side, the right side, the proper side? I mean, I love the car, I just don't like being ripped off by Germans.
the thing for me is still that gearbox. It's just hopeless. You know, the moment it builds up, the revs rise, you hit the lever and pauses with you and waits. Nothing happens.
I know.
So long.
The thing is, it's a gearbox, okay? It has one job to do, one job. Exactly. I'm a lever. Am I a pencil? Am I a cauliflower? Am I a nuclear power station? I'm a gearbox! Oh heavens, I've swapped some cogs around. It takes forever.
Precisely, it's not like it's working through a list. And the problem is you're going to be using it a lot because obviously that buzzy little 600cc engine, you're changing gear all the time.
I was wrong. Ignition side, it's actually a 700cc engine. Well, that makes all the difference. It's 0.7 of a litre.
Yeah, that is still very small, and it still has Hugh Grant as a gearbox.
Yeah.
That's the problem about people's typical stereotype. Now, everyone might presume that Barbie has got pink cars. Yeah, alright, fair enough. In 1970, there was the Dune buggy, Barbie and Ken, right? And that was pink.
And that would have been a convertible as well, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, but it's a beach buggy, isn't it?
Yeah, but all she does is drive, convertibles.
No, that is not necessary, right? Later on, she does have proper vehicles,
Like, what vehicles does she drive normally then?
Well, she's got food vans.
That's where the roof comes off, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but it's not a convertible, though, is it?
Yeah, but her legs don't bend, and that's one option she's got, isn't it?
Well, there's other vehicles, pickup trucks and stuff and all that lot.
Haven't they got like a big, massive, large sunroof?
They ain't actually convertibles, though, are they?
Yeah, but a great big space for them to get the Barbie in, though, isn't it? Because her legs don't bleeding bend, do they?
No, you're just being prejudiced that you can't get her in. It's like, right, you know...
Just admit that, you know, every vehicle she has, it's got to get specially adapted for her to get her in.
Well, these like big vehicles like buses and stuff and that, and well, yeah, alright, fair point, but why is everyone associating that pink convertibles is just for Barbie? I mean, look at a real man like Homer Simpson. He drives a pink convertible.
Since when? Right, in the cartoon, his car's a hard top, right? So, what are you getting at?
What I'm getting at, that Homer Simpson drives a Plymouth Valiant and it's pink, right? And it's a convertible.
No, he does not, right? It's not a convertible.
Yes, it is. When I was on the video game, you know, Simpsons Hit and Run, right? Or you could go with, you know, Simpsons Road Rage and all. But, you know, he still had a convertible, right?
No, he didn't. He had a hard top for his vehicle.
No, Homer drove a convertible, and it's not feminine because, you know, as I said, pink's meant to be a man's colour. It's like people watching, you know, the typical stereotype of Simpsons, isn't it? You know, like getting educated on certain stuff, like Malibu Stacy. That was a very known, popular episode what stood out with everyone.
Yeah, it did. Well, you know, it was advertised.
Well, yeah, it's like, yeah, you'd be thinking them two, like brother and sister, going through puberty and all that, look, for all them many years.
I mean, you used to share your sister's toys, didn't you? Or you used to steal her toys, didn't you?
What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, you always end up doing stuff with her cars, didn't you?
Well, the thing is, though, there were so many cars what came out, and well, they're quite big in the house up. So you put them outside, sunshine gets to them, and they start fading. And all I did, you know, because the new Barbie movie came out and all that, look, I just did, it's like Mad Max. Come on, we're all petrol heads. I mean, that's what I did, you know, bit of super glue, do it, dress the cars up and all that, look, because like boys like to do is dress dolls up and dress cars up, and that's what I mean by Barbie being the biggest hoarder of vehicles.
Right, but you haven't really explained the reason why you did all this weird stuff about, you know, making it look like, you know, some apocalypse Barbie fest. No, you just want to play with the cars, didn't you?
Well, she had a big variety of vehicles.
Well, yeah, because you kept on pinching them, so obviously your parents had to replace them for her, didn't they?
Oh no, that ain't the case, is it? I was quite artistically creative doing all that with them cars under the inspiration of Mad Max movies.
So you're blaming the movie, are you now?
What, the Barbie movie or the Cocaine Bear movie?
Why would you mention that?
Here's a trailer.
Based on true events back in the years of the 80s, 1985, a ranger, a park ranger, no nonsense woman, what carries a very large handgun.
I didn't know rangers carry guns. Park rangers are peace officers, which means we can shoot people.
And she doesn't give mercy.
Forest is a dangerous place. You got a best to be bigger, Ranger. Yeah, well, I'm working on that. Get your ass down! Gang of pews. Teens, delinquent. You one of those kids calls me a bunch of shit?
You know, it's usually more cowardly on the streets.
What? Empty your pockets. That gang of pubes are dangerous. Call themselves the two champs. They've been attacking hackers.
taking on the gangs,
They cut them with a knife.
single-handed.
Watch your back. Pop-art punks pop up out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Said I'm unfit for the big leagues. I'd have been in Yellowstone by now if it weren't for you. Shit! Hey, go get the gun. It's in the glove. I prefer the left gun gun.
She's just one single woman, a ranger, fighting the urban crime in the forest, all on her own, with one gun. She takes on their 1985 gangs. But there is one thing only, and one thing only will do. She has to abide by the rules of the game.
If it's luck, for luck. If it's run, they don't.
She's that type of woman who won't lie down and don't take no for an answer. She is the one and only what's taking on the major bad guy, Angel Thornton, and nothing gets in her way. With enough explosions to last all day, she will blow you away if she could. But she would. But she's just too busy to take on all the bad guys. She is just one woman army to take on the drug cartel. All single-handed. And one gun all she needs. 'Cause she is the ultimate fighting machine. Yes, we're talking the Park Ranger.
Why are we seeing a random trailer of a lady movie, Park Ranger movie for? Because you're up to your own tricks again. You're just randomly changing the subject just to avoid the serious question you just got on. And now you're trying to throw us off by mentioning Park Rangers. I mean, our thumbnail was actually promoting the Ranger vehicle, and but all of a sudden you got on the subject about Barbie.
Yeah, well, Barbie had the Ranger doll, didn't she?
But what's that got to do with GTA?
Well, right. We're coming in with consumer advice, right? You know the Ranger vehicle?
Well, yeah, but you need GTA Plus and that to get it.
Well, why bother buying it when you can actually go out and steal it? I mean, these are some badge here. Yeah, that's how simple it is. Because the vehicle's not that really, fast or old, is it? It's like Captain God just said, you are changing the subject, and why are we seeing the Park Ranger vehicle on story mode? And yeah, it's not that easily straightforward seeing getting that vehicle. Maybe that's why they brought it out for sale for people to buy. But you see how expensive it is and all that lot.
Yeah, but the point is, why are we seeing images of the gameplay?
Well, we're going to see some images so far on Not So Time Racing Driver.
Right, now it's just changed randomly now, yeah. We've just seen the Gimp just walking into our Golden Crown garage. Now, our producers didn't actually, did anything with this episode.
Because it got banned, that's why.
Alright, yeah, because we didn't, yeah. Well, we'll change subject. But we're watching the Gimp taking our lovely little Corvette.
Well, yeah, and this is what happened. What do you mean by what happened? Well, the vehicle went through some altercations, right?
What do you mean? What are you doing to our precious car?
No, the producers did it, right? I mean, they wanted to test the theory about convertibles. Obviously, your reaction and everyone else's, maybe all the way around the world, have a different view about convertibles with associating with Barbie. And obviously, that's what they did, is, altered it to look like a certain way. But the social experiment they did on an online session on that classic game of GTA 5, right? That what would online players take on the reaction of that vehicle? How would they behave?
Meaning you're catfishing, is it?
No, that's the point. We know we've got the established GIMP and yeah. Yes, but that doesn't really explain why the producers, or maybe your strange weird idea, because yeah, we all know that the Barbie movie came out and it got very popular, and yeah, now that isn't the point about certain stuff, but the idea is obviously we all lot thinking about convertibles, and obviously the producers want to know if the convertible is quicker than a hardtop, but it gives another inspiration of an idea.
What idea is that then?
Well, the GIMP actually came on an online session and started to see what reaction they get from an actually proper online player. And as you can see, the online player actually standing there, and yeah, this happened.
What? Oh no! GIMP!
Well, yeah. So that is actually name and shame that online player, because they've actually killed our GIMP. Well, for the moment, until we get it repaired. So our producers thought, well, yeah, the GIMP gets more recognised, and you know, wearing that leather gear or whatever, you know, it looks a bit intimidating, doesn't it? And obviously they want to have a character completely different, that, you know, that nobody doesn't know or recognise, or, you know, get any inspiration. They wanted the character to look feminine. So here we have our very own substitute like Obby from the Grand Tour, but she is actually called Takeaway. Why Takeaway?
Yeah, why is that?
Well, because if you leave your cars in your car, you know, she'll take it away.
That didn't make any sense. What, keys? I couldn't understand, but, you know, a car out of a car?
Well, yeah, but the thing is, in the game we don't have keys, do we? So the only thing that came in my head. Anyhow, the point is, we all remember pressing R2, don't we?
Well, yeah.
Well, plenty of people press him out one attack, and obviously he has his disadvantages, doesn't he?
Well, yeah. But that'll press him out too. I think Miss Takeaway would have been taken out.
Well, yeah, it definitely would, yeah, because we all know the Prismark 2s were quite a nuisance back in the days. But yeah, our Ms. Takeaway, I think, to be corrected. So as you can see, the online player is actually daily respawned, and obviously, you know, she's not locked to engage or anything, no threatening manner or anything, and obviously, you know, name and shame that character, alright. But yeah, obviously, you know, we get plenty of Miss Takeaways, because she's quite highly, you know, like a production line, isn't it? Like Barbie, isn't it? You know, just look at it that way. Oh yeah, the thing is, as we all know, that she's going out again, right? And this time, notice another online player. This is what we were doing, is actually having her chasing online players. I mean, they were chasing her, and obviously straight away that will give you the hint that you're in danger. And you can see the online player has actually got their gun out, and
it's proven that, you know, that this myth about maybe pink cars, convertibles, thinking she's a girl, actual physical girl player, that, you know, what the hell?
Yeah, that's what happened. I might have took a shot, but didn't kill her, but she popped it on, got out of the car, and that, right? we don't know. This online player could be a boy. We are always that typical stereotype, presume that every online player could be a young man or old man or whatever, but usually we get the typical stereotype of, you got your imagination thinking who could be behind the, that controller and in that lobby and all that lot. You are so weary on. Yeah, but the thing is, this is history now, isn't it? I mean, the game was out for so long, right? And a load of us played online, and it was a typical stereotype. Everyone might presume, the old days used to say about ladies drivers and crashing cars, you might saw that. Now, we might presume that this online player is a young fella, maybe, but technically it could be a lady.
Right. And how would you know that?
Well, the thing is, you don't know that. That's the point. Or because they're driving a random vehicle, might seem a little bit threatening, opening it, firing it, that lot. But that's what everyone does on the game, isn't it? I mean, if you just keep on watching it, I don't know how this is going to go out and all this stuff, but obviously we're talking, our producers want us to sort of do, live streams and all that lot, didn't they, back in the days? I mean, we did live streams with our game sat in the museum and waiting for online players to turn up and buzz on our door, and it never happened, so they were quite tediously boring. But obviously, this is a new method of what our producers did, so, what is people's reaction? I mean, this is another random online player, and we don't know, we're presuming maybe this online player might know this online player or their enemies or whatever. Like we said, ladies must know when a lady's on a session, and obviously they won't get on. But obviously, I do get the impression that maybe these two might know each other, something, we don't know. But as far as we know, we've got this strange online player. I mean, obviously, Miss Takeaway, obviously she's got a certain name, but obviously that's what we are calling her, right? Because she'll take the car away.
But that ain't appropriate name, is it, for her?
Why is that?
Well, technically, she hasn't taken anyone's car. She's let people take her car away without her being away.
Oh yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, I never thought that. Yeah. So why did you call her Miss Takeaway then? Well, I thought it'd be a good name, because it sounds right, like she takes your car and makes it sound aggressive and stuff, and better than calling her Bobby or something, would you?
Well, that's a brand name, isn't it? So you wouldn't do that, would you? I mean, technically, if I saw that back in the days online, I would presume that they are a Barbie fan, and especially with that very old movie that came out with Margot Robbie and everyone making a big fuss about it, that a lot of people liked it, and Pierce Brosnan or there was some guy that made a really big, he was really upset how they portrayed Ken, didn't they, or something.
Oh, yeah, he's one of them blokes what drew Clarkson in and all that lot. Yeah. Yeah, well, never mind that. You're right, you see the online player here, right? Bit wary, pointing a gun, Miss Takeaway, little wave, and this is your reaction you get. Now, obviously, with body language in the psychology of it, obviously these two could be two ladies, obviously they're aiming guns at each other, or the two online players, maybe male, might think, stress roam, thinking, yeah, because we all know that way back, GTA was sort of responsible for certain people getting married and all that lot.
People getting married.
It was like a dating game. That's how some couples met each other, actually physically, on GTA.
So is that why maybe these players don't kill people driving around in pink cars because they might presume they are maybe female?
Yeah, that might be a possibility.
Right. So is this logical, or is it what? Is it meant to be entertaining?
No, but it's very scientifically interesting, don't you think? You can't put science to this, can you? But it is history, because look how this online player is behaving now, right? But I mean, that is doing these gestures. I mean, what sort of form of body language do you think that might incorporate? What do you think that might mean? Well, it wouldn't be kiddie friendly, maybe. But no, it's just a typical stereotype. Yes, we all presume pink car. It's going to be somebody what's a great big Barbie fan, like a big idiot, you know, thinking they're going to be easy target. Well she is, because she's not shooting them, and that car does literally stand out. Well, for that, it's quite very interesting information, but we've got to leave it at that. So for all that pink banana, if I like to say, it's time to end the show.